Welcome back to another episode of Jacksonville Buzz's Legacy of Leaders. I'm Steve Strum. This morning it is my honor to introduce you guys to Ron Autrey, former chairman and CEO of Miller Electric, philanthropic guy, author, executive chairman of the board at a local college. Did I miss anything? All around good guy?
Well, you hit the good things.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, the book talks about all the times that you've died. So for those that don't know who Ron Autrey is, tell us a little bit about who you are, sir.
I am a Jacksonville native, lived here 70 years. Our family grew up on the north side of Jacksonville. My father started at the bottom of the electrical industry. He actually encountered my mother on one of Miller Electric's jobs in Tallahassee, and her father told him that if he wanted to continue seeing his daughter, that he would have to move to Jacksonville and get a real job. And he did, and he started as a groundman on a line truck and rose, and that was in 1950. By 1966, he was CEO of the company.
So that is like almost the classic story of the driver of Coca-Cola became the CEO story. Right. And so your father, if I know we were talking a little bit offset, is the second or third owner of Miller Electric.
He was the third president of the company, and he and the daughter of Henry Miller, Jane Wynn, co-owned the company. And when she passed away, my sister and I became involved in the company and became part owners at that time back in the 70s.
And then you had the opportunity to own and run Miller Electric, which is it's a household name here in Jacksonville, for 30 to 40 years. And then you retired, but yet we're still young men and you're not done yet. So now you write books, you do a lot of philanthropic things around the community. Everybody knows that you're involved in so many things. And we're here today to talk a little bit about your penmanship, your ability to tell stories. And I know we have a book here called Ron's World, and of course the subtext on it for the folks that may not be able to see this is, so Ron's World, down here it says, all the times I've died. That's some imagery. All right, so this is the existing book that you have. Tell us about this book.
In the third grade, my teacher said I should be a writer, and I've always loved writing. So when I did retire and I had the time to do so, I wanted to write books, starting with a memoir. Not a traditional memoir about me. That requires fame and fortune. In this case, it's a historical memoir, and all of the amazing things that happened during my lifetime, beginning in the 50s. The technological advances in the 50s are really the platform that we live on today in the world of advanced technology and advanced medicine and advanced travel and transportation.
Well, I know that I will always be a young man in certain eyes, but I am a lot closer to a number that begins with a 5 than begins with a 4. And, in my lifetime, to see the evolution of technology, speaking to kind of how the world has completely been changed. If you look at, the 1980 is actually further away from 2023 than 1940 was. And so if I think of as a 47-year-old person, going back to 1940 going, gosh, that was a long time ago. That was the year that my father was born. And the fact that, from 1980, which to you and I seems like just yesterday, is further away in lineage than 1940. And amazing what's happened. So in this memoir, you discuss a little bit about what your history is. But, I got to ask. I love the imagery of the heaven and hell thing. I think that speaks. That's great. Ron's World, all the times I've died. You're talking about technical evolution of life and things that have happened. Well, why is it about you dying?
Well, it started at birth. I was born nearly 2 months premature. So I should not have lived in 1952. But the physician in charge injected air into my lungs, inflated them, gave me life. unfortunately, he didn't give me superior intellect. So throughout the course of 70 years, I did some really stupid things that should have gotten me killed.
Gotcha.
But I survived.
So that's what. So look, when you say all the times I died, it's not metaphorical. It's like, here's all the times that Ron almost had a dirt nap.
Yeah, car accidents, boating accidents, just generally stupid things that kids do.
Yes, sir. And sometimes we're kids forever. So we have a new book coming out. So this is a historical nonfiction piece, but you got another one coming out about fiction. Are you going to tell us about it, or we got to buy it to find out?
Sinope, which is the ancient word for Sinop, Turkey. And it picks up a young Army officer coming out of West Point in 1966, goes straight into the Tet Offensive in Vietnam in 68, stays in the military, in the Army, and Army intelligence, particularly in signal intelligence. And it follows him through the next couple of decades with romance and love affairs and intriguing special ops involving electronics and signal intercepts through Vietnam, through revolts in Turkey. He ends up engaged to the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff daughter. In some ways, it parallels what, in my mind, I could have done when I was in the Army. I was in the Army Security Agency and electronics maintenance. And so I'd kind of extrapolated from there to create a fictional story of intrigue and romance.
Well, before we go any further about that comment, I grew up in an Army family. My brother is currently serving in Fort Bragg. I know you probably know that one well. Thank you for your service to our great country before anything else, because without that, we don't have the ability to do this. And thank you for joining us on the segment. It's fascinating to see somebody that I have seen over the years, obviously identified as a person, right? Everybody, Ron Autrey, Miller Electric, right? I mean, it's kind of hard not to make that association. But to have you here to talk about the things that you're doing with the writing is really neat. And people can, go to our website on iwannabuzz.com, find all the cool stuff about what you're doing philanthropic-wise. And, and then on your website, the very next question is Autrey Research. This is a place that we can go, so audreyresearch.com, to find out all things Ron, about your life story, books you're doing, things you're up to, all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make sure to put the audreyresearch.com on the website to hang it there so people can connect. What you got planned for 2024? Because it sounds like, as a guy that's retired, not slowing down, what's around the corner for you, sir?
When I finish the next fiction novel, I'm starting a new book called Imagination, which deals with quantum science and the ability to communicate with you even though you're in a different room.
Fabulous. So thank you for joining us here today, and thank you for everything that you've done for our Jacksonville community over your lifetime. So you've left a mark, and it sounds like you're just getting started, sir.
I have been blessed.
Thank you for everything that you've done, and also for that service to our great country. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on Legacy of Leaders. If you like us, share us, and remember, live with gratitude.